What is going on, everybody? My name is Nico and welcome back to another Pokemon video. Today we are going to be talking about the restricted Pokemon that you are going to see a huge amount coming in Series 10. And this is because Series 10 is bringing back restricted Pokemon like we had in, what was it, Series 8, I believe? Series 8, I think it was Series 8, yeah. But we had restricted Pokemon before. Again, it is the one restricted Pokemon format. However, dynamaxing has been removed. So certain Pokemon are going to be even better now than they were before. These Pokemon, for the most part, were all very popular in the Series 8 format. But they're even better now because you don't have to worry about certain things like Dynamax ability. So we're going to talk all of that today, but if this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you are subscribed for more videos like this in the future. Let's get into it. All right, so first up we have Zasian Crown, and I don't think this is a surprise to anyone that this Pokemon is still going to be so dominant in this upcoming format. Like, it is going to be a very, very popular Pokemon simply because of the fact that it already didn't Dynamax. This was not a Pokemon you could Dynamax in previous formats. It was just a super powerful standard Pokemon that you could save your Dynamax option for something else on your team. That being said, you don't have to worry about taking out Dynamax Pokemon. So this Pokemon being as powerful as it is really leaves you a lot of room for a lot of Okos and stuff like that. This Pokemon is going to be super, super powerful, especially when you use things like Behemoth Blade still does so much damage. Things like, you know, close combat and just the wide array of moves that this Pokemon can use. Being as powerful as it is, this is still going to be a dominating restricted Pokemon. It doesn't matter that there's no Dynamax and Behemoth Blade isn't going to get double damage, okay? This Pokemon is strong. It's going to stay strong. You're going to see a ton of it. Next up is Xerneas, and Xerneas was popular previously, but it still wasn't one of the main components. It wasn't one of the top tier restricted Pokemon in the format. But right now, because of the fact you don't have to worry about any max steel spikes or anything crazy coming at you, this Pokemon is super beefy naturally, and because of things like Geomancy, you're going to see a ton of Xerneas. You're going to see this far more frequently than in previous formats. Okay, it's going to run Power Herb, Geomancy, you know, it's going to have Dazzling Gleam. This Pokemon is just going to be a nuisance for you. Okay, it's just the way it is. You can run Moonblast, Draining Kiss, whatever it may be, but look how beefy this Pokemon is naturally, and the stats that it gets. It's just super, super bulky, and it's going to be a problem in the coming formats. It's going to be annoying for many people, and it's going to lock out a lot of the dragon types that are going to be used. It's going to be the big fairy type used in this upcoming format, aside from, you know, things like Tapu. The Tapus are going to be still pretty popular, but in terms of like big damage dealers, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the big kahuna that's going to come in and really be a problem for a lot of dragon types in the format. And it's no surprise with things like Geomancy, where you raise the special attack, special defense, and speed by turn, by two turn 2. It's just going to be insane. This Pokemon can bulk itself up so naturally, especially if you have a Power Herb. Now, if they get knockoff or something, it might be something that is less likely to be a problem. But max its speed out. It's already naturally bulky. It's going to be a nuisance for anybody on the field, and honestly, it's something I've seen a lot in Showdown already. It's something that everybody seems to be using and rotating through. I've even tried to work it into a couple teams myself because it is going to be just super, super good. Now, Kyogre was already very good. Kyogre is the next one we're going to talk about, and it was already really good, but because of the fact there's no Dynamaxing, it's just going to do more damage with its water spout. You can still run, you know, Ice Beam on it. It's still super nice. You can decide between Thunderbolt or Thunder, or if you want to use Origin Pulse, any way you want to go with it. But, you know, Mystic Water, the standard stuff on Kyogre, this is just going to be a very good Pokemon still because of Drizzle. You can use crazy things, and a lot of Pokemon are getting even better because of the no Dynamax option. Things that can utilize Grass Knot, like Ludicolo with Swift Swim, is going to be a really good partner with this because there are no Dynamaxing, so you don't have to worry about the weight difference and all that stuff anymore. It's just back to standard battling, and Kyogre is getting more powerful as a result, and then other Pokemon that pair well with Kyogre are getting more powerful. So it's really, you're going to see even more Kyogre than you did previously, which this is something that you saw all the freaking time in Series 8. But it's going to become even more popular. Tornogre teams are all over the place. I've seen them all over Showdown. It's just going to be that way. And if you've noticed, a lot of the Pokemon that I've covered, well, pretty much every Pokemon on this list, are Pokemon that you didn't have to necessarily Dynamax to get the most out of them in the past. Obviously, Xerneas was super good if you got your Geomancy up to go ahead and Dynamax. It just made it just a powerhouse to get through. But Zacian already couldn't Dynamax. Kyogre wasn't really your main Dynamax Pokemon because of things like Water Spout. You wanted to get your Tailwind up and just spam Water Spout if possible. But the rest of the Pokemon, Calyrex and Groudon as well, they weren't Pokemon that you would always go for the Dynamax on, okay? These were like, it was like a situational Dynamax, where Calyrex, you really wanted to utilize Astral Barrage and Precipice Blades on Groudon and things like that, and you use Groudon more for a drought setup. Although it is very powerful, it was more of a drought setup for other Pokemon, you know, like Venusaur or Charizard and things like that. So it's just, you're seeing the fact that the Pokemon that were already good without the Dynamax mechanic are the Pokemon that are getting used a ton in Series 10 on the Showdown ladder and on the Pikalytics stats. That's what you're seeing, are the Pokemon that didn't necessarily need a Dynamax to already be powerhouses of Pokemon. Now, Calyrex we've already talked about. Calyrex is just an insane Pokemon that we already saw so much of in Series 8. It was just super popular. It was actually the first restricted Pokemon I used on a team in Series 8 because it's just so incredibly fast, as well as it's just super powerful with its special attack. It pairs super well with Indeedee and Psychic Terrain because it is the strongest Expanding Force user in the format. It just rocks everybody's world with Expanding Force, but then also Astral Barrage is insane on this Pokemon, okay? These two moves alone make this just an insane Pokemon to deal with. It's super powerful, and you're going to see a lot of them. You're going to see a lot. It's probably paired with Indeedee. If it is on a team, it makes a lot of sense to see it with an Indeedee. It does have a lot of other coverage moves, like Leaf Storm is super cool on it, as well as things like Draining Kiss if it gets low. So there are a lot of options that you can use on this Pokemon, or even Giga Drain. Things to get its health back that are going to make this Pokemon a lot to deal with, and it's just going to be interesting to see how people decide to use it now that we're getting into the format without Dynamaxing and things like that. This is going to become an even bigger threat, and you're going to see a lot more Wide Guard used than ever before. Finally, moving on, we have Groudon, and Groudon was already very popular before, like I mentioned, and it's just going to get even more popular now because of things like Venusaur being still very good because it is like a sleep user. It sets sleep on Pokemon with the Chlorophyll ability, and you know, you get things like Charizard that might not be as prevalent because you don't get G-Max Charizard, but there are other Pokemon that really utilize the Drought ability, Weather Ball, Venusaur, things like that are going to be super useful in a Groudon team. So this is something that you're likely going to see a bunch of as well, just because of just the Pokemon it's built around. That's the big thing with Kyogre. Kyogre is a very offensive attacker. It's a very powerful Pokemon on its own, with Tornadus beside it setting Tailwind. But Groudon is super good with setting up other Pokemon as well as Kyogre. Like I said earlier, the Ludicolo is super good right now with Swift Swim and Grass Knot because Kyogre and Groudon teams are so prevalent. Grass Knots do tons of damage under these conditions, in a Drizzle team, things like that. So Groudon is going to be just as good with things, like I said, Venusaur. So Pokemon, again, the big thing is take away Dynamaxing from your brain going into this particular rotation. We don't have Dynamaxing anymore, so you really got to think about what was good prior to Dynamaxing and what you can actually utilize. For example, Aegislash was something that didn't really thrive in the Dynamaxing format. However, in this particular format, where there's no Dynamaxing involved at all, Wide Guard is something that is super used, and Aegislash has it. Aegislash is super good in that regard. You can use it to set up against Calyrexes and stuff like that with its with its ghost type moves, excuse me. So there's just so many Pokemon that you can think about using that weren't very good under the Dynamax conditions, but now that that is taken away, these Pokemon thrive again. Again, another one that I'm seeing so many of are Talonflame. Talonflame has made a comeback in terms of being a Tailwind setter, and it's very interesting to just see the change in which Pokemon are popular because of the removal of this huge mechanic that has been the dominating force in this particular game. And I'm very interested to see, based on all of these things, if we end up going back to a no Dynamax format, no gimmicks at all, no Mega Evolutions, no Dynamaxing, no Z moves, none of that crap. If we just go back to, you know, basic double battle formats in VGC, moving into Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, because it almost seems like that is what is going to be the case, being that they've taken away the Dynamax mechanic moving into Series 10, and the closer we get to the release of Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, it seems that is the route they're going. They're removing the gimmicks altogether, and I'm almost curious if Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are going to have full Pokedexes, where we have access to every Pokemon that it was in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and then we have access to everything that is going to be in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and that we have even more Pokemon in the VGC format in those particular games. So it's all very interesting, and I'm curious to see where this all goes. But here are your top 5 restricted Pokemon that you're going to be able to use in the upcoming Series 10 format. You're going to see these a lot. There's a bunch of other ones that are still relatively popular, you know, things like Solgaleo or Yveltal and things like that that were super popular in the Series 8 format are less used now because of the things that made them good, like dynamaxing, being able to take those hits and activate weakness policy. Those are pretty much null and void because they can't take as many hits without the dynamax. So it's very, very interesting. I'm very curious to see how the rest of the format goes. Pokemon Unite stuff is starting tomorrow. We are covering Pokemon Unite very heavily on the channel, so if you're interested in that, make sure you sub for more stuff. But that is going to be it for this video, and I hope you found it entertaining and helpful. If you did, leave a like and smash the subscribe button for more videos like this in the future. Be sure you check out the Discord where people over there playing games all the time. Check out the Enter the Chat channel where we talk all things video games, not just Pokemon and that kind of stuff. Very fun to do that over there with Rico and Toby. And then check out all my social medias if you're interested in keeping up with me, this channel, the stream, or anything like that. Like I said, that's it for this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.